All right, folks, welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. I have a very special guest for you today, Darius J. Wright. Has his own channel on YouTube. What's the name of your channel, Darius?
Oh, it's just my name, Darius J. Wright.
Darius
Yeah.
J. Wright. Okay. And I came across you. I think someone sent your video to me, one of your videos a while back, and I was like, man, that's interesting. He'd be a great guest to have on. Because I like to explore all kinds of different topics on my channel. Uh, you know, for the most part, I cover all things war, what's going on behind politically, the deep state, the whole thing. But this type of stuff, when we enter the spiritual aspect of things, that really fascinates me. So I was really looking forward to having you on. So thank you so much for joining me, Darius.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me on. Yeah. Hope people benefit from this.
Yeah. So I don't even know how do we start this, but um, I guess the first and foremost thing is OBE. Let's explain that out of body experience because it's different than an NDE. Obviously, NDE is your heart stops, you leave your body, you come back. Near death
Yeah.
experience. You have had an OBE, I'm assuming more than once. You probably do this consistently, correct? Because you're able to control this. So
Mhm.
out of body experience, like what's the difference?
Yeah. So you when you die, your heart does stop. So the electromagnetic field of that glues the soul in is no longer present. So when you're doing a controlled state and out of body state, you are doing the same thing essentially. You're lowering this magnetic field in the heart to a state where your soul could leave. Now, there's a difference when you do it 100% conscious, because when you're 100% conscious, you keep the same, like everything that you're thinking right now, this process, this interview, everything, who you are right now as you are shutting on the body. When you leave it, all that stays with you. It's all remains, your personality, everything. You can look at yourself. But to understand the difference between an NDE and OBE, they're one and the same thing, because one is just a you're leaving through a death experience, near death experience, and the other one you're leaving through a controlled, I would say, near death experience. Because I've measured my heart, and I believe I've stated this before. I had like an Apple Watch to measure it when I was doing it. I think I got it down to 29 beats, 28, 29, I believe, beats per minute. And sometimes I've recorded lower.
Wow.
So yeah. So it's not necessarily like a scary thing, but it- the quicker you could learn how to control the heart rate, the quicker you could basically lower this electromagnetic field that keeps you here, keeps you present. This is why when you go into a certain brainwave, a brainwave pattern, you're able to instantly connect into the field of all things. You're able to get downloads, intuition, because you're already connecting there just through lowering certain fields and accessing more things. But the out of body is just you're 100% present. Your soul's 100% there.
I've noticed when I wake up fresh, like right after a nap or a long night's sleep, I'll get a download. And this happens
Mm.
quite often with me, but it's like right when I wake up, something will hit me, bam, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that just hit me like a cinder block, and it's like a download of information, bam, that hits me. So I
Yeah.
can kind of relate to what you're saying. The only other way I can relate to what you're saying is through my near death experience, which was, to my detriment. I mean, it was my fault, um, but it wasn't a controlled thing like what you're doing, and maybe psychedelics. Uh,
Mm.
I don't know if you're able to talk on that, but 29 beats. I mean, the lowest I've ever had when I was in the hospital was, I know it was lower than, but what I witnessed was like 30.
Mm.
But you're able to, do you do this daily? Do you do this weekly? Is this monthly?
Um,
How often are you doing this?
it's not. I used to do it daily. I tried to do it daily once upon a time, and I just don't, because it's the central nervous system gets fried out a bit when you do that consistently. So now I sometimes I set a either a monthly target or weekly, and sometimes they still just happen like out of the blue, but I know how to control it to dial certain things in. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend people doing it every single day unless you are isolated, because it does fry out the central nervous system, because the amount of information that the body then is comes back into it, it's like a Think about a computer that only holds a terabyte of information. And even though these bodies do hold infinite capacity of information, but just imagine a computer with 1 terabyte of information, but your soul's accessing an infinite amount of information, bringing it back within it daily. It's too much. It's
Yeah,
too
it
much for
flies
me.
you out.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
makes sense. I mean,
yeah.
the only way I can relate to that in any way, shape, or form is adrenaline and serotonin dumps that
Mm.
I got from boxing. I don't, that would be the only way
Mm.
I could relate to that. That fried me out. I have adrenal fatigue, but that's a whole
Yeah.
nother, that's on the other side of the spectrum. But
Yeah.
I
It's
can
more of
tell
like the
you're a very
mental
calm
focus
guy.
as well.
I mean, I can feel your energy. You're a very calm and relaxed guy. I mean, have you always been like this? I mean, is this something you had to learn? I mean, you were doing this since you were a kid.
No, not I would say, yeah. I mean, I've always been like this. I mean, I had to deal with things, but yeah, it's to me, wh the more you do an out of body, the more you leave. You have to learn very, very quickly to have control over your state of being, your energy. Because once you even leave in a near death, your subconscious, your thought forms are projected in your field, in your space. So if you are out of control daily and out of control here, then all that is projected in your field, and
Mhm.
you say you meet your demons. Yeah. You can never run away with them. You always meet them face to face until you're able to dissolve that and recognize self. Then you learn how to control yourself, control your state and balance pretty much. So but I think you're just getting a reflection of just the focus, really. You know, sometimes it's a little bit too much for people, but to me, it's just what is.
So, someone who's been through an near-death experience or someone who dies, let's say, um, it's almost like you're training yourself. I'm saying you've been training yourself
Mm.
so when you do face death, you've kind of been through it many times, right? I mean, you've been
Many,
out of
many
body.
times. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
what
yeah.
is that
Too.
like? What is that
So
like?
you, the first time, I mean, I'm not sure of your near death experience, but did you actually leave your body? Did you see
I
your physical
saw,
body?
I kind of saw everything panoramic. I don't know if I didn't leave to like the other side. I didn't see a white light. I just know that I was conscious of all things at the same time happening, and it was
Yeah.
quick. And then I blacked out. So I can't really say. I went into cardiac arrest the first time with a drug overdose. They brought me back with a defibrillator, but I don't remember leaving, seeing God, or going in a white light or anything like that. So I'm thinking maybe I did not pass over. I didn't cross over. I don't
Mm.
know. The second time,
So let me ask you then.
okay.
That time when you had that experience, is that when you stopped boxing and started doing this?
It was shortly after that. I was 36
Okay.
and 0, and then I went back, but it changed me because I went back into boxing. I wasn't the same person.
Okay. So you actually went to the other side. That's in that experience you actually did. And what happens sometimes is there is a when you go over there in a near death, you will see certain things, agree to certain things, and
Mhm.
then also agree to forget coming back so that you don't ruin that
Well,
progression. You see, so it's almost like you're on a script unaware that you have written your own script to where you are now, because if you dramatically changed out of nowhere, that's showing me that you preset a script for yourself to do certain things for humanity. It's the same thing that happened to me at 16 years old. It's I was told this is going to happen, but I wasn't shown my path of the places that I would walk and do to get here. And I was told I was going to forget, and I agreed to that fully. And now that I see now where I am doing what I'm doing, I could see back from there. So you actually did leave and go over to the other side. You just forgot, and you could tap into that. You could
Darius,
100% tap into that message, that message that was given to you and what you see.
Darius, I've thought of that so many times. So many times. I'm like, how did my life go from being an undefeated prospect, nobody
Mm,
could beat me, to all of a sudden losing, my life blowing up, nuked, having to go through 10 years of depression and then drinking, to
mm.
finally to where I'm at now. It just I couldn't put it together, but I've always thought maybe I did cross and I made an agreement. That's always plagued me. I've
Yeah,
always thought of that. That's
that
wow. The
that
fact that you
absolutely did
said it.
happen. Yeah, yeah. So like I could feel that. I could tap right into that. I could already sense it. Like in the simple fact that you have been thinking about that, this is just confirmation. So like that's exactly what happened to you. But the thing is, if you were to now that you know that, try to tap into that through meditation or try an out of body, try to access it through prophetic visions, you will see over time all that information will come back to you. But I think you're on a path right now that you're unaware of, that you are now becoming aware of, where that near-death experience was the path to actually awaken humanity. And because of who you are, that's the path that you're walking unaware. Because if you knew the final outcome, would you really be walking with motivation the way that you do now?
No,
Yeah.
that's fascinating, dude. You picked that up quick because this has been on my mind every day. Every
Mm,
day I wonder about that. Did I
yeah.
cross over? Did I make an agreement? Why did I make a deal somewhere? I think
Mm,
about that all the time, Darius. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So what have you experienced crossing over? What have you seen? I've heard your videos about the dome Earth. You've seen the Earth, you've seen the dome. I've
Mm.
always been very skeptical of NASA. I've always been very skeptical of Elon's rockets. I feel like they're trying to bust through a firmament. I'm not saying there's not outer space. I'm not saying that. I just know there's something there that we can't get past. And that's as far
Mm.
as I go with it. And I know everything they've ever told us is a lie, you know? So to
Yes.
me,
Yes.
when I hear from someone like you that you've been beyond with an out of body experience, controlled out of body experience, and you've seen this, can you explain what you've seen or how this looks or what my audience should be aware of?
So it's see, before I say this, I want to say that I had no preset thought forms of this.
Okay.
So I had no understanding of, never read the Bible before. So seeing this for the first time, I actually had been shown through 3 or 4 times to actually for it to sink in. Before then, I started researching flat Earth, you see. So this, when you leave this place, you will see the waters above. This place is on it's fixed and it's immovable from the other side. There's a waters above. So even when you think about space and how they portray space now, think about stars and how they give you pictures of the cosmos. All that is just water, because water acts as memory and portals too, and stars act as certain portals to kingdoms within the 12 heavens of this place. And when you could look at what I'm saying, because it's been shown to me by people now saying, "Oh, do you know what you're saying is actually from biblical texts?" But I'm unaware of this. But you will see that they talk about the heaven of Edom, yeah, which is actually part of the fourth heaven. So we have a total of 12 heavens within the entirety of God's creation here. And I'll just say God's creation because we're using the firmament. 12 heavens are contained within here. But when you step all the way outside, you will see it. You'll see it all. But you'll also see all of the other creations outside of here as well. You'll see all the other constructs, all of the other firmaments, all different templates for an experience for the soul. Yeah. I could
Levels.
actually within here there's levels. Yeah, there's 12. So you have the first heaven is the foundation, the earthly heaven here. And this is a point in time, this was open to every single being. That's why all the history's here. This is where you get the giants, you get the angels. You go up to the second heaven, this is where you're getting more of the galactic races, the celestial heaven. This is where you get the craft that's able to phase in and out of dimensions, and out of places, because all they're doing is they're tuning frequency, the frequency of themselves and the craft, to shift between layers of reality. And it's simple to understand that by a ice cube example. An ice cube is H2O, it's water. You vibrate the molecules in the higher, turns into a liquid. That liquid's still water, H2O. You vibrate it higher, it turns into mist. It's still water, H2O. Now you can barely touch it, you can barely see it, but it's still H2O. You vibrate that higher, it turns into a sound wave. Now you can't touch it, you can't feel it, you can't see it, you can only hear it, but it's still water, it's still H2O. And you will find if you were to match that frequency of that state, you would find physicality in sound itself because all these layers of reality is based off a certain frequency. And we can only see 0 point something percent of the light spectrum. But really dialing that is just seeing more of that light spectrum. Even your thought forms you can't see because it's outside of your ability to see it right now. But once you come out of your body and you are able to see that, you will see that even your thought forms are physicality themselves. Yeah, it's physical. So even when you go up to the third heaven, this is where you get the beings of Anunnaki that has built all of the pyramids here when they were here once upon a time. The fourth is the heaven of Eden. This is where you get the tree of life. The fifth is the cathedral heaven. The sixth is also that in between space. This is where you get people talk about middle earth or inner earth. But when you look at the whole center of the body too, as within, as without, yeah, how they say the chakra system, the sixth is the center, the in between space. It's part of the toroidal field, that flipping point. The seventh is the angels, the eighth is the seraphims, the 10th is what you call Atlas, 11th, etc. And you go way, way up to, huh?
You skipped nine, I think.
Oh, did I? Okay, yeah, yeah. It's part of the gods.
Okay.
What you call gods is there.
So
Yeah.
what's below us? I mean, because that they've like you said, I've heard inner Earth. I've heard accounts of
Mm,
people submarines that have gone down to the ocean floor and actually seen another whole open lake on the bottom of the floor, what they can't explain, and then later they're
mm.
killed in a helicopter crash or something like that. But so there's levels above and below us, correct?
Well, I haven't seen a level below us, but what I have seen is the tunnels. Yeah. And
Okay,
the
yeah.
tunnels underneath. And this is where you get the giants. And so even when I was showing, this was back in 2021, I believe. I was showing the waters. Like even when you go deep down into the oceans, there's oceans and rivers themselves deep in the oceans. And then there was a scientist that actually figured that out as well. And he was assassinated for it by exposing it. So yeah, the deeper you go into the oceans, you'll find the different densities of water and the water separated from the waters. And I've seen that deep down. That's where you'd say the bottom is. Yeah. And so you do have tunnel systems as well, all through this place. This is where you get the red giants that are still here. Some of the beings are still here too. Some of the extraterrestrial races that people call are here.
And you've seen all of this by lowering your heart rate and leaving your body. Is it,
Mm.
would you say it's your
Well,
soul
I've
leaving your consciousness? What is it exactly? Is
so
that one and the same?
So your consciousness is your soul, or your soul is your consciousness. It's one and the same thing. So the misconception is here somehow that when you die, you lose your sense of individuality. You lose yourself, and you never lose your individuality. That stays with you forever. That's your eternal aspect.
That's
So
interesting
what?
because I thought, when you die, you just go to main source and you're like downloaded into a source program
No, no,
pod
no,
and you become one.
no. That's part of the great deception to put you into fear of loss of self.
Interesting.
Yeah. Losing yourself somehow is impossible. You will always keep your individuality, no matter how far you go back to source. Even in source itself, when you are of everything, of nothing, you still have you still are perceiving you are nothing and everything from that singular individual viewpoint. Do you see?
So,
So even in all things, you are still your individual self.
do you have your body? Is
You
it
you have a
a light body,
soul.
or is
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
you're just aware of your conscious of your own? When you say self, are you an or what's your physicality? Are you an orb? Are you a light body?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
are
yeah.
you on the other side? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, do you have any physical form?
Yeah. So your soul, what I've seen and what I've observed, the soul carries this template of the physical body, or I could say the physical body is the universal template of the soul. So even when you leave this place, your soul is of the physical body. It looks like it. slightly different. You could say the perfected version of yourself. Now, can this turn into a light the further you go into, let's just say, source of all things? Yeah, it can, because you could form your physicality as a soul into expressing in whatever way it chooses to express itself. But based off what I've seen, everybody's typically in some sort, like a form like this, but it's no distortions, no
So,
suffering, no
so
pain,
when you
no
see
aging,
like
etc.
when you see videos or photographs of ghosts, right? Which I've seen quite a bit. There's a haunted restaurant up the street here, and there's a haunted high school here, and there's been class photos with a little girl, image of a little girl.
Mm.
I mean, crazy, creepy stuff. When you see stuff like that, what are ghosts, man, in your mind? Are they trapped energy here? They weren't able to maneuver, they weren't able to move out. Do they at some point move on? What's a ghost and why are they always wearing clothes? I mean, do you keep your, I mean, you know what I'm saying? They're never naked. They're just, they're in their, they're like,
Yes, yeah,
they're, you get
yeah,
what I'm saying? Like, it makes no
yeah.
sense to me. But obviously, there's photographs of this, there's videos of it.
Mm.
So there's proof that ghosts exist. What's your thoughts on what is a ghost? What are these apparitions?
Well, I've seen a lot of that stuff, like clothing, robes, like yeah, like
What?
yeah.
Explain
But
that.
the ghosts are they're not. All right. What's going on here is as simple as this. Ghosts, just call them a soul, and they're a soul that is in torment. They're in their own hell. So you experience hell here by you could say sinning on the body, and you experience hell here. So what is that? That is the highest state of frequency in everything is your authentic self, you being your authentic self. And that just happens to be also the state of unconditional love, because it's impossible for you to not be your authentic self if you are not in unconditional love of your authentic self. So when you step out of those things here physically, then you go into the opposite of that, which is unloving things, fearful things, stress, anxiety, all has a negative effect on the physical body, even to the death of it. Stress will kill the body. So that same concept applies in your soul form when you're in your soul. If you carry and you step out of love there, then it doesn't necessarily kill the soul, but you end up manifesting in your subconscious your own demons, your own hellish experiences, and you experience your own hell. So a lot of these ghosts that are trapped here that are tormenting, and you've seen things like that. These are just individual souls temporarily lost of or void of love temporarily. It's not permanent. And this is where you get you. I've seen some of these souls too, seen some of these beings, and I used to do what I do, which is, oh, they're evil or whatever. But now anymore, I understand exactly what's going on. I see exactly what's going on, and instead of shunning that very thing, instead I reach out my hand to help it, because it's only love that brings them back to themselves again and frees them fully and completely. This is why you can never control or entrap a soul unless it believes it to be so. And if the soul is in a state of its own imprisonment, of its own fear, then it will experience just that. So
Wow.
hell is, yeah,
So it basically manifests its own reality on the other side.
yeah, yeah, you do. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Wow. So, when I look
I
up,
mean,
go ahead.
can I share my screen with you so I could
Absolutely.
show you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You
okay.
should be able to see.
Let's see.
Go
I
ahead,
think
man.
it's this one here. This should be. All right, there we go. So you could see that?
Yep.
Okay. So obviously for a lot of people, this is going to be pretty, a lot of people are going to know what I'm talking about here. But I just want to show you this real quick. Let me just take that out. All right. Remember how I was saying when you are outside of all things, you will see the the firmament, which is, you see where my mouse is there?
Hmm.
That being
Yep.
the firmament. And so let's say when you're even outside of that, where these people are here, they're standing, so they're viewing all of this creation, all of it, outside of it. And even here, you'll see, as I've seen, some firmaments all here. That's
Yep.
another creation. You could say another creation. And another way to view it too. This is another way to view it. Let me try to find this one, which is down.
So it's almost like fractals, would you say?
Well, it's not necessarily fractal. So I will show you this video here. Well, once you are outside of here, your soul will has the ability through its will and its word to create its own construct for itself. And so this is why you'll find there is no end to creation. You'll never find it. It's always in a state of constantly. So here we go.
You might
Um,
need to click the box that says share sound on it before you.
yeah, but I won't share the sound on this one.
Okay, okay.
Okay. But it's just more to show you. Let me actually even take down the sound so I don't hear the sound. If I could see, da da da. Yeah, volume. Okay. So when you view this here,
Hmm. Mm.
all right, let's go right here. So you could say when you're on the other side, let's say these are your individual souls. The people here, that's individual souls. And all of these different puddles on the other side, all of these different waters are different creations.
Mm.
Different creations that your soul could step into and have an experience of whatever it is that that template provides.
Wow.
This creation is the one where you forget who you are. This is where we are where we are right now. But this is another way to view it. All creation is of water, and all in all things is an infinite, endless creation of soul's wills, whether if it's a collective or individually. Do you see?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense actually.
Yeah.
I've
I'll
always
just
had
stop there real
visions
quick.
of this as well.
Yeah.
I've always thought of so it is kind of like fractal windows, fractal realities, just infinite, right? I mean, just or should I say
You-
the right word holographic? Or I mean, it's just it's a an infinite of potentials of different realities you can step into of different universes, different worlds, different. I mean, is that what it is? Dimension?
Well, well, yes. Yeah, I'll just say creations.
Okay.
So, so when you as a soul, so when you are outside of here, your soul has no limitation because you cannot have ultimate expression of freedom with a limitation. So to say when you're outside of here, you cannot do as you will is a limitation on your soul. So therefore, you are a slave. You see, a slave of.
Right.
So when you end up making a place, it is of the will of your thought. If you cannot imagine it, yeah, the moment the moment you imagine it, then you can manifest that into the creation of all things. So that's yeah.
So when you look when you know so when someone looks up at the sky during the day, do you see blue? Are you telling me that's water?
Yes,
Is
yeah,
that what we're
yes,
really looking at?
yeah.
What is it? How much water are we looking at here? Just a film of water? Is it another whole ocean? What are we looking at here? And
So yeah, based off what I've seen, it's a different form of water. So like the ice cube, from a H2O to liquid. So it's just a different density of water. And it's also self-healing too. So water is also self-healing as well, just the regular stuff. But when you actually look at the firmament itself, water contains memory, contains information, so it records things. And this is already proven in scientific experiments too, where you could put things into water, words into water, and actually has the memory of it.
the
So the
intention,
very, yeah.
the
So
intention is
the very, yeah, yeah, yeah. So the very firmament itself, the waters above, also contain all information. You can say projection of too, because it carries all the information from the very beginning. And even when you enter into this place, you enter it in through water. And the reason why you forget is because your memories bleed through the water. So every single thing is all contained here. All information is contained here by each and every soul. But that just goes a little bit far out from your statement and your question. But yeah, it's just a different form of water. How thick it is, I'm not sure. All I know is that when you pierce past it, you enter to another layer, another heaven, the second heaven, the celestial heaven. And then you're in that space, and then there's waters above there, and then you go past into the third heaven. Yeah.
This makes a lot of sense to me. It really does. Do
Mm.
you feel that, like, what do you have to tell someone that uses psychedelics and they say, hey, I get the same experience? Is that true, or is OBE and NDE completely different than psychedelics? Can someone achieve this by using psychedelics? Are you a proponent for psychedelics? Are you not?
Mm.
What's your view on that?
Uh, yeah, so I don't recommend psychedelics at all.
Yeah.
Can you access the information with psychedelics? Sure, because what does DMT do?
Right. And I've done
Or
DMT and
yeah,
I've seen beyond, but I don't want to do it again. But I
yeah,
mean, I when I had anxiety, it all stopped. That's what was so crazy about
mm,
the experience. When I started freaking out on what I was seeing, it stopped. It just
mm,
stopped. I was like, wow, that was so it wasn't a brutal experience. It was a gentle experience for me, but I was in amazement and kind of I started getting anxiety at what I was seeing. Make sense?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh,
And then your thought forms, unaware of it, would be projecting things in your field, and then you would be getting this overlay effect because this is why you need to be in 100% control because how powerful you are is so underrated.
right,
Yeah.
right.
That
That
you're
makes
getting
sense.
this overlay. And so what these things do is they open up temporarily your ability to see more of the light spectrum when you take these things. So this is why you could see certain things if you're on it, what people explain. You're just temporarily tuning yourself to access more of the light spectrum. But you could do this naturally. And when you do it naturally, you're in 100% control over it. So when you take a psychedelic, you're like just pushed right into it and it's being drunk behind the wheel. Like you feel like you're losing yourself in a sense, because in a sense, you have intoxicated yourself and are just, drunk behind a wheel, trying to drive to a destination. It's very difficult. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But when you do it consciously and you are consciously focused on it, then from the thought that you have going into it is a thought that you have when you exit the body and you go, okay, what are the stars? And you're full control. What are the stars? You shoot up to the stars, you figure it out. What does the firmament look like? And you're able to see it. Yeah.
So
So,
what are the stars? Are they portals?
so stars are their access to portals and kingdoms within this construct. Even the northern stars is part of the kingdoms too of what people call the 12 zodiacs. Yeah. So all water all stars are of water, a certain part of water, and sort of I think this is the right word for it. It's they've done it on cymatic frequencies where it's like the plate and the tunes. Yeah. So that's what the stars are. You could say the angels as well.
So what is the so why are I say the powers that be so hell-bent on keeping us in this construct or trapping our consciousness, it seems like to me, with NASA and now I
Yes.
gotta even throw Elon Musk in that category, Occupy Mars, the moon landing, which, in my opinion, never happened. Why are
Well,
why
the
is it
moon's
so
not a
important?
physical thing. Yeah,
Okay,
you'll
so
never land.
why is it so important to keep our consciousness trapped on this realm in this dimension?
Okay. We have the experience of 100% enslavement here within the physical body. So when you end up bringing a consciousness here, souls to a certain consciousness of not even remembering that, then this is all that exists. And if this is all that exists, then I have fear of losing. I have fear of death. I have fear of losing things here. And then you have 100% dominion over the soul's will, the soul expression, because it forgets its true nature. So you end up imprisoning humanity here by making them believe not the eternal aspect of themselves.
Is that reincarnation? Is that the prison planet effect then? Having to always come back here, having to come back here, having to come back here, a karmic will type of thing. Is that a trapped soul ultimately? I mean,
So so when people talk about the reincarnation soul trap thing, the thing is that understand this. This is where it's like a double-edged sword. You can never ever control or trap a soul unless it believes it to be so.
mm,
Full stop. Because once the soul realizes who it is 100% impossible to deny or entrap that will. It is impossible. But if you could convince a soul through their subconscious thought forms, what they manifest when they're temporarily out, if you could convince a soul that you will experience hell, you will suffer. Therefore, due to its own power and its will, it will manifest that.
that
And
makes
this is where you get people that believe in hell. They experience hell until they finally get to the point that I got to, where I broke free. They get to the point in the hell when they leave, where they say, you know what? Please help me. I've had enough. Jesus help me. God help me. Someone help me. And they completely give up. And in that giving up, then you could say the doorways open up. And that's what happened to me. I was in a lot of fear things all through many, many years of doing this. It's kind of funny, because I'm leaving my body, I could see things, but I'm still in fear of something. And when I got to the point, just literally this state of energy where I said, you know what? Kill my soul. I don't care anymore. I feel like I'm dying every single night, anyways. And then I fear death, even though I'm in my soul form. Kill my soul, take it. I don't care. And in that very point, that very moment, when I said that and I realized that nothing could actually touch me, you could say the doorway's open. And I realized, listen, to myself, nothing could touch my soul. It's only my belief in it that lowers me to the state where it could be touched.
mm,
And even that's an illusion. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So that makes a lot of sense. And it makes a lot of sense on why, the I'll call it a theory, evolution, outer space, NASA, why they're so, they take in billions and billions in dollars in our school systems. NASA takes in billions of dollars to keep perpetuating these lies, correct?
mm. Yeah, yeah. It's all. So this place could be very beautiful, and it was in the past. And so, like I said, you control humanity by making them forget their true state, love. And so now you have people all here acting in fearful, acting in survival, acting in control in some form or fashion. And all this will ever do is enslave humanity. That's all it will ever do. The simple fact that we have to pay to live in a place of that which we were born is already off path. It's off course. We are the only beings here that have to pay to live. How is that not enslavement? You
100%.
you you can't say that, okay, I'm free. I'm free. I'm 99% free. Just because I have to pay something doesn't mean I'm not free. I'm 99% free. But if you are 1%, even 1% not complete freedom, like what's the difference between a 99% slave and a 1% slave? They are both still slaves, completely controlled under the dominion of something. And this whole system is designed to put dominion over you through systems of control, fear-based things of control, to keep you there, forgetting who you are. Because once you remember who you are, then all of a sudden humanity, every single one of us, no longer supports those things. You see?
As a collected consciousness,
Yeah.
collective,
Yeah. Yes.
break free. And
Yeah.
that's why the
Absolutely.
mainstream media is so important for them. That's why, these indoctrination camps, schooling systems, NASA, it's so important to keep us trapped.
Trapped in the false
Right.
nature of
Right.
of Big Bang.
So
same thing with the pineal gland, like the whole pineal gland, like the body can access more of the light spectrum, one that is fully active. And this is where you will be completing sentences that people say before they say it or seeing things, etc. Because you're accessing that field in the physical flesh as well. Or yeah, you're accessing the field of all things in the physical flesh. Yeah.
So if you believe you're insignificant and you're small, you will be trapped in that small and insignificant consciousness.
And state and therefore the cells will even vibrate at that state. So what you believe in, what you truly believe in, your cells will start to vibrate at that state of your belief. And this is done and repeated in many different experiments from people with split personalities. One person sick with that personality, he switches back, he's not sick anymore. So your cells actually are vibrate at the very thing that you truly believe in. This is where you get miracles happening. If you believe it 100%, then the cells have no choice but to vibrate at that state of what you believe in. This is why in the environment, if an individual stuck in a certain environment, a certain society, a sick society, even though that being, depending on its will start to sync with with everybody else around that individual. They'll start to sync up and they'll start to vibrate at that sick society level unless you have a soul that has a strong enough will and conviction, it will actually have the opposite effect. Yeah. And start doing the opposite of that.
Let me ask you this, man. I mean, you seem like a very, very spiritual individual. You are a very spiritual individual. Do you have a lot of friends? I mean, are you mainly a loner? Like what goes on in your life?
Mm-mm.
Like, are you just kind of, on your own? I mean, do you walk this world alone? Or because I mean, it seems to me like you've got a lot of things figured out for the most part on your spiritual journey. Do you vibrate with a lot of other individuals? Is your group of friends just like you? I mean, do you all meditate together? Do you do these out of body experiences in a group therapy, a group network? Is it you
Mm.
solo doing this?
No, I prefer to be alone when I'm
Okay.
doing things. Yeah. But I don't like to um, hang out with a lot of people when I'm doing certain things, purely because the thing is I try to make sure that I'm not influenced or not necessarily influenced, but the thing is people have a lot of beliefs, and these beliefs come from not direct experience. And to me, it's like, okay, well, if I could directly tap into that, I'd rather just do that and catapult myself to a state of just figuring things out and sharing that. So all through my life, I haven't really had a lot of people around me, and that's sort of a blessing too,
Yeah.
because you could say I don't have the ties of friend pressure of, oh, you should be acting like this or this is the norm. Because of that, I think that's why I'm so starkly different, you know.
Yeah, I'm picking up on that for sure. Ever since I got sober, right? Before then, I wanted to be in the scene. I was always in the boxing arena. I had a lot of friends around me,
Mm.
cluttered with a lot of just crap in my mind. But now that I've been sober for 5.5 years, I've been very much alone. And I find a lot of peace there. I find a lot of peace there. Because this is my own journey and this is the path I decided to take. And when you said in the beginning of this podcast that you felt like I made some kind of deal, I don't, dude, that's all I think about daily. I'm like, there's something going on here where I feel like I crossed over and I made some kind of agreement because that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Mm.
And, I think it was when I overdosed the first time and it was the only time, but because there was some things that happened, synchronicities that happened afterwards that couldn't be otherwise, that happened in the hospital. I would say there are
Mm.
paranormal things that happen, but um, that only very intimate to me that only I would know. And
Yeah.
this is why this makes so much sense to me. And so, yeah, you kind of hit that nail on the head, man. Because I've been thinking
Well,
about that.
yeah, you are 100%. That's what happened. Because the
But did I
reason why I'm
switch
so
a timeline? Did I die on that timeline and come to this timeline?
no. So the reason why I say 100% is because energetically I just tuned into it. But then for you to confirm that you've been thinking that, the thing is, your feelings never lie. When I say, "Oh, I want you to think of this," well, automatically, because you're thinking, you're not feeling. You'll find a whole bunch of lies within your thinking.
Yeah.
But if you could feel into it, you're like, "Oh, feeling this, feeling that." That's because
Dude,
it's
it's the
already
confirmation right now.
trying
I'm
to
feeling
communicate with you. Yeah.
really feeling this right now. Like
Yeah.
it's a confirmation in my soul. It's really wild. Like what I'm feeling
Mm,
right now. Like this is makes all the sense. This is what I think about not every other day, not every week, every day. I think
mm.
something happened where I came back and I chose this reality.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, that's 100% what happened. But you could, instead of just thinking what happened, you can access the information. The thing is, you, the reason why some souls forget, and even why I've forgot at 16, is because it's depending on you, who you are, it may take you slightly off from doing certain things that are perceived risky that you thinking would not do. But you as the soul would absolutely do because it's 100% in alignment with your integrity in your heart. And that's what matters on the other side. So the only thing I could say here is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is because I was told about waking people up to the other side, which is part of the great work, is what they say. So the only thing I could say without implanting something within you is that it's part of that mission. The thing is, a lot of people have come here unaware of who they are to set certain anchors within here. And when the time is right, just their energetic presence would all just flip on. People like yourself, people that you've probably interviewed. Because the thing is, when there's a united front of love, united front of truth of the other side, it is an unstoppable force of all creation. You cannot stop it. Not even evil itself could stop it. Doesn't matter how deep that evil is, it cannot stop love at its purest form of a unified front of going towards achieving something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so someone like yourself is just part of that. Whether if you believe it or not, you are 100% a part of that.
Makes a lot of sense to me, man. Makes a lot of
Mm.
sense to me. Um, Darius, man, this has been very eye-opening for me, and I'm sure my audience as well. Um, where do people find you, man? Is what is your social medias? I've seen your YouTube channel. Do you want to show it
Mm.
real quick? Do you want to just pull up the screen and show it, or
No,
just
no, no. No, all good. I don't do social media. YouTube I do just purely for the to share interviews and testimonies because it's more for me. It's most important to for me. It's important to lay a foundation, a groundwork where I you could say yes, I'm the messenger of, but I want to make sure that individuals are actually standing at that same state of truth
okay?
within themselves. So it's when you go to the YouTube thing, you're just going to find those individuals like that. But I don't like to go on social media. You'll never find it, and if you do, it's not me. So I do everything based off a mission because I've shifted my whole
Thank you.
everything. You could say,
Thank you for coming on
yeah,
my podcast, if that's the case.
yeah, yeah. So
Oh, seriously, I'm
yeah,
honored. Thank you.
yeah.
It means a
But
lot to me.
I could send you the mission thing that I wrote down. I could send that to you.
Okay.
But yeah, if people just type in Darius J. Wright, they'll find all the information that they need. And if they go to the a certain page on my site, it's just the mission. Gives you the whole reason of why I'm doing this.
You want to show it?
And that's uh
Want to show the mission?
yeah, yeah, I can if you like.
Yeah, go ahead. Show it so people can see it. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see.
Is this something you wrote out?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's something this something that I wrote. Um, let's see.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I gotta say, man, I'm kind of taken back about you just nailed it right in the beginning of this podcast with the what I've been thinking about ever since that event happened.
Yes, yeah.
Ever since, man.
Well,
Like no explanation for how my life
mm,
is in this direction and what's happening right now. I just can't explain it.
yeah. I mean, th this is basically the mission here. It's there's a video here which basically I go into the firmament and everything, nature of reality. But it's essentially why I started what I started, the great work, what I was showing, how souls are asleep here. I mean, it's a lot of stuff to read, but yeah, this is just basically right on my site. It's called The Mission.
What's the name of your site?
Just DariusJWright.com. But I'll stop
DariusJWright.com.
sharing. Yeah, but I'll stop sharing screen there
Okay, I'll put
just
it down
because we'll
there.
be reading that for. Okay.
Yeah, DariusJWright.com. I'll put that down below in the link. Visit the site, folks. Darius, man, I appreciate you coming on, brother. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Cheers, man.
God bless.